And all right, we are set. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Patrick and I are currently here in Belize, and we're excited to chat with you about the updates that you're going to be seeing in Casita Village. There's been a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement about around Nicaragua recently, and to really make sure that we are able to help folks, we are going to be doing a rebrand of Casita Village. I think you're really going to enjoy what you see. There's been a lot of time and energy and thought about how it is that we really could capture what we're looking to capture within the community. We're going to talk about what that's going to be throughout the presentation here, but I'm going to anticipate it'll be about 15-20 minutes of information, and then we'll have time for questions and answers at the end. So I think many of you know Patrick Hiebert, our Chief Operating Officer.
Hello, everyone.
My name is Rachel Jensen. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for ECI. I live here in Belize, although I do go back and forth to all of the countries that we're working in quite a bit. Belize is home, and I was based in Nicaragua actually in 2012 and 2013. But just as a quick overview for everybody, ECI Development, as you probably know, is the parent company to Gran Pacifica. Gran Pacifica is one of the properties that we have within the ECI portfolio. We have properties here in Belize. We partnered with the Best Western and the Marriott for branded hotel properties here, investment, and also residential homes. There are also the tiny homes that are being launched within Nicaragua. You probably noticed that within the Ava community there at Gran Pacifica. In addition, the Grand Highlands property in Panama, there's a tiny home community there. And also here in Belize, over the water tiny homes, which has been really quite exciting to see all of that start construction and come into play. In addition to that, for our Gran Pacifica owners, you are probably aware of the fact that we have teak farms on site. We also have teak farms within Panama. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. We wanted to make sure, though, that we made time for you to talk about what's going on within the updates within your neighborhood. So I don't think I really need to go too far into the details about Gran Pacifica. You've all been there before. You're very familiar with the project, the property you decided to own within Gran Pacifica for a reason, whether it was to relocate overseas or spend some part of the year there, or just simply looking for an investment or ways to diversify your portfolio. But what we're seeing over the 20 years that we've been in business is that people are continuing to look now really more than ever for solutions, for plan Bs, for a place where they can really go and feel like home outside of their home country. And this is nothing new for all of you. That's why you are homeowners within Gran Pacifica already. But we're seeing that you will be welcoming more neighbors to Gran Pacifica. And we're really excited to see the community of like-minded owners continue to grow. But with that, we're seeing that people's desires are really starting to evolve too. And, maybe at one point there was this whole desire for large single family homes or larger estate lots. But we're seeing that a lot of people are thinking more consciously now. They're looking, and you'll see that they're the bottom part of the screen, concepts such as minimalization, sustainability, eco-friendly, and there's a big demand for it. And while our tiny homes capture within the Ava community, they capture a great part of that market, those homes are a little too tiny for some people. So we are looking to serve the folks who want something a little bit larger. I don't know if I necessarily need to jump through the site map here. I think many of you know where your home is, but just as a quick recap within the Casita Village, that's what we're talking about here on the presentation. It's the orange community. I think you can see my cursor, but the orange community here about midway through the screen is the Casita Village area that we're going to be focusing on. Ava, I mentioned that a slide ago, which is the tiny home community. Those homes are about 300 to about 400 square feet, located right north of the purple Santa Barbara. I think you can see my cursor right over here on the Osachio Beach. But I don't want to divert the conversation too much. Anything more, Patrick, that you want to add about Gran Pacifica or the neighborhoods?
No, and we can talk a little bit about, kind of how this concept and the revitalization or rebranding of Casita Village has come about. And really, to some extent, you folks that own in Casita Village are kind of early adopters to the concept that we've kind of locked onto in the last year or two. And that is the minimalist of your homes are, not massive and not wasting a lot of space. They're a great use of space. And that, about a couple of years ago, we had stepped back a little bit I mean, many of you probably realize how I became involved with Gran Pacifica or an ECI. I bought the piece of land beside Casita Village, which is now called Milagro Verde, and carved that up into a number of lots and built eco-friendly homes that are, most of them are, well, most of them were solar powered. Some of them are solar powered hybrid systems, so grid and the panels and batteries, and that came from my kind of background of being involved in the whole eco-friendly thing by ultimately moving from a larger house to a smaller house to a condominium to a boat, and get really involved in the whole, conserving energy and also producing my own. I don't like to pay power bills any more than you guys do. In Nicaragua, power is pretty expensive. So the more you can minimize that and lower the cost, kind of going full circle here. But to me, we call ourselves now in ECI as eco-sensible, not eco-fanatics. I don't think eco-friendliness really catches on in people in their home building or modifying their homes unless it's financially advantageous as well. So we focus on a lot of that. So that we find ourselves kind of being eco-sensible. And what we're going to talk about here is exactly that. But the Casita Village homes have always had what we call a smaller footprint and a smaller price tag. And really what's driven this, and my son Spencer and I, literally sat around a couple of years ago and said this, all these things that are kind of rolling together right now. People like the minimalist idea, like not having extra space or clutter and everything. They like the eco-friendliness, being, good earth citizens, but also saving money on utilities with, gray water reuse lets you save on water. Solar power generation obviously lets you save on power. And then sustainability was another thing where people love to have their own gardens and orchards and things like that to grow some of their own food, if not all their own food, and really can bring your cost of living down to zero or next to zero. And then that concept we started working on, and what you see in the AVA community, which is Eco Chile, is really the beginning of that. And sorry,
looks like I think it might be Val who's on. We have one other person who's
well,
joining us over here.
I'm not sure where we're going with what happened to our video, but anyway, and basically AVA was a kind of a trial test concept of that, where we took tiny homes, eco homes, and sustainability concept and put it together. And really what that combined with was the plan B that Rachel had mentioned. And people obviously, just put the cards on the table. People in the US and Canada a lot of them are frustrated with what's going on between politics and riots and all the, censorship and all sorts of different things. I know in Canada right now, in certain provinces, you can barely leave. And I mean, it's getting a bit ridiculous in some areas. And we kind of were lucky in that way, in that we put together this tiny eco-sustainability concept of a community together at the same time that a whole lot of people started looking for a plan B. Yep. And we were overwhelmed with the popularity of the AVA community, which, like Rachel said, those homes are like 250 to 500 or less square feet, very small homes. You're really only, building the kitchen, the bathroom, and a bedroom, but that's really all you need to use in a tropical environment. And you folks that own there know that, a lot of time you're outdoors or you're on the beach or wherever you are. And, that together with that plan to be, we created a first phase in AVA, and all of a sudden, we had basically 100 reservations for 100 homes. I mean, that's more than double what's currently at Gran Pacifica right now. But a lot of those people like the concept, but they'd also like something a little bit bigger than tiny home. And tiny homes are defined at basically under 600 square feet. So most of the Casita Village homes are kind of the 800 to 1100 square feet range. And we have some new models that we're going to be introducing in this as well. So sorry, I talked a long time, but I think that'll save us a lot of time on future slides too.
Sure. We'll just
I always tell Rachel I'm going to be really quick, and then I be rambling.
Well, there's a lot of great information in here too.
But I mean, the bottom line is really that what we're doing is we're expanding on the AVA concept, and people that are looking for a little bit more expensive home than at AVA, but also a little bit more space, but not necessarily right on the water, And so we've created this, what we're backing up a little again. Most of these communities were kind of naming after Spanish names. So we have TESS, it's like tiny, eco, sustainable, and smart. Then we have, Ava, Eco Village Osachio, Bella, which is a beachfront eco lifestyle alternative, and then MILA, Modern Innovative Lifestyle Alternative. They're all acronyms, but they're also all names. And MILA is the rebranding of Casita Village. And I think you're going to really like the concept that we're bringing together here of creating eco and sustainable options within the community, and some new amenities and a lot of interesting things. So, yeah, I mean, why eco-friendliness? It's probably something don't really need to even talk about. I think everybody knows, the eco movement is pretty strong, but particularly in Gran Pacifica, where in Nicaragua, we do have issues with power outages fairly often. The homes in Milagro Verde that have, battery backup and solar power charging those batteries don't even notice the power outages. In fact, I remember a lot of times where people used to go to Milagro Verde to plug in their phones and laptops and things because that was the only place with power. And we've struggled this last year a little bit with the ups and downs of power as they are renovating and putting in new transformer systems and things. So, that's a nice byproduct of being eco-friendly as well, for sure. So what's MILA? I mean, I guess the highlights of MILA, it's really again, the blend of the minimalist living with beautiful homes and eco-friendly. I know a lot of people in the past have often asked me, it's like, well, can I put solar panels on my homes? And yeah, absolutely you can. And for whatever reason, a lot of people think they can't. The only rule we've had at Gran Pacifica is that you can't see the solar panels from when you're walking down the sidewalk or next to the home. And part of that is, when the sun rises or sun sets, panels tend to reflect a lot of light and blinds you in your eyes. You don't want that when you're driving down the road. But we have the beauty of being close enough to the equator and in Nicaragua that they basically lie flat 9 to 12 degrees off of horizontal. So reflections are going back up into the sky anyway. But the highlights are really the optional off-grid solar or hybrid systems. The new homes are all going to be built with solar hybrid systems in them. But you are also welcome as existing owners to add package. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But we really, I guess today is really about, you as owners. We wanted to make sure that you had the first chance to see what we wanted to do before introducing this to the public. And we expect it to be quite popular. So this is the MILA layout, the Casita Village layout of lots. The lots haven't changed at all. They're going to be exactly the same location, same size. What's changed is kind of the common areas. You'll see shared community gardens and orchards inside. So if you want to plant carrots or, we'll put in mango trees and banana trees and that sort of thing as well. But, we're going to carve out some kind of plots for gardens. And if you want to use them, you're more than welcome to. And we'll figure out the details of how that works in terms of, shared produce, or, some people get a plot and, each person has this is really an early concept, but we wanted you to know about it up front. So,
sorry, go back.
No, it's okay. The pool, for instance, we haven't 100% defined what the pool is going to be in terms of size or exact location, but we do expect to put in either a natural pool or saltwater pool in there, and a little palapa, obviously, for a shady spot to sit beside it, and that sort of thing. So a lot of this is conceptual. I'm going to be at Gran Pacifica mid next week, and we're going to be out there with Raquel, who's our brilliant landscaper that's made some of the really beautiful landscaping that you've seen, like in the boulevard between the new paving that goes past Milagro Verde. That's a lot of Raquel's work there, and so we're going to really start mapping out exactly what this looks like. But again, we wanted to get you involved early so that you know what's coming. We talked a bit about this already, but really the concept of tiny homes are the next step up is considered in the tiny home vernacular is considered mini homes, and really the overall concept is right sizing. And in a climate where I grew up in central Canada on the prairies, you kind of needed a bigger home because you couldn't go outside for half the winter or because it was just too cold. and summer there was nothing but mosquitoes. So it was kind of like you get one of the two. But so people tended to have bigger homes. But if you're living, in Gran Pacifica, there's not really a huge reason to have a big great room or all these kind of extra spaces that you don't use that much of. So we found that the tiny homes and the mini home sizes, casita sizes, have been very popular. And we've already talked about communal gardens and on off-grid or hybrid power. So the communities that we have now, Rachel, they've heard enough of me talking. Why don't you just tell them a little bit about Ava, MILA, and Bella?
Sure. So Ava is the community that we showed you before that was just north of Santa Barbara. These are the tiny homes, Eco Village Osachio. So they range, as Patrick mentioned, 250 to about 450 square feet. There are 4 different models there. And within the Ava community, we have 2 phases totaling about 100 homes. At this point, 97 about are reserved. And it's been exciting to see this movement of people who are interested in conserving their energy and living sustainably and being eco-friendly and off the grid, and of course reducing their power bills, but doing it within a group of other like-minded owners. Now, as Patrick mentioned, MILA is the next size up. This is the 1,100 to 1,400 square foot homes, really paralleling what has already been done in Casita Village, but giving a new look to these homes and giving options to people who had originally come to us and inquired about Ava, but realized that maybe those homes are a little bit too small for their lifestyle. And it happens. We've had people reach out with family of 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and Ava's not the right size for them. But something like MILA is, the 2 and 3 bedroom homes where they don't need to be directly on the beach. They just want a beautiful place to live where they're living sustainably and living comfortably. And then the next level are the Bella homes. We haven't done an official launch of Bella, but this will be a new community located on the beach right there by Ava. And so these are also 2 and 3 bedroom homes, again, adopting those eco-friendly models that we are integrating into Ava and MILA, but these will be beachfront. So we're going to have 3 different sort of communities for these homeowners who are interested in really living well, living sustainably. So stay tuned for Bella. We haven't done the official launch there yet, but
a sneak peek.
Yeah, that is a sneak peek, but you get to see it. You get to see it here first. And like Patrick mentioned, we really did want you to be aware of what's going on within MILA, which will be the name that you'll be hearing for Casita Village, because obviously you are a homeowner there, but there's a lot of exciting activity, a lot of new things, new and exciting things that'll come to the community to really enhance that neighborhood that you're already in. And so just a breakdown of the different locations. So MILA, Casita Village, which is the orange grouping over here to the right. And then Bella will be located. You can see it in front of Ava. There are the pods there, pods of about 8, 9 homes. And then behind Bella is where Ava is going to be located. So MILA, we know, is in a great location. You're 10-minute walk from the beach. It's easy for you to get to the Las Perlas condo pool area and also sea salt. So you're in a really great location there. And if you are willing to and wanting to adopt some of the looks and the facades that you saw in a couple of the other renderings, you are able to do so. We'll have a slide on that in a bit. But do note that it is going to be a bit of a different feel there within the previous Casita Village area.
Thanks, Rachel.
You're very welcome.
So you're seeing some of the new. So what we did is we took a little bit larger than the existing Casita in Casita Village and created some completely new plans that could be hybrid systems. You can see the solar system on the top right one. They all have that built into them. There's a 2-bedroom single. Well, let's just go through them.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
There's a 2-bedroom we've called Atlantis. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You can see this one. This is all recorded. So if you want to take a look back later and see more details, and we'll be putting together a brochure for the MILA community, and with a lot more details in it than we can really go through today. But this is a similar, a little bit different design, but similar design to the existing casitas in the Casita Village. You can see some of the renderings of the interior space. A combination of still being the Spanish colonial exterior with a mix of Spanish colonial and modern on the interior. This is the one called the El Dorado. This is actually a 2-story home with 3 bedrooms. So it's 1,400-ish square feet. And has a bit of a different look again. I think we've managed to design some pretty homes here. They've really turned out nicely. I think the efficient use of the space, they all fit on the, within the setbacks on the existing lots that are in Casita Village. So we've had to be very, creative and efficient with making sure that we didn't have to change the lot layouts. And these are some of the renderings from the interior of the El Dorado 3-bedroom model. And a few more. And again, you'll see in some of these slides, you can see the way we've designed in the solar panels. It's a bit of an art form, with the slope of the roof and where the panels are located and the hours of the day that you can get sunlight on them and all those things. But that it all goes into the part of the design. And we wanted to make sure that if you did like this design, I've been asked by Casita Village owners in the past, and like I said, if they ask me, can I put solar panels on my home, and say, absolutely, you can. We just got to make sure that it works and it fits, and they're not, they're not unesthetically placed so that it's not too nice to look at. But if you like, this is actually one of the existing Casita Village model homes, exactly as it is, with a little bit of a different facade on the front and a pergola on the back with the panels on the roof of the pergola. So it just gives you an idea of if you were interested in having the kind of the little bit different look. Not there's anything that the homes in Casita Village are beautiful homes, but if you like this kind of look, it doesn't take too much to change the facade in the front and add a pergola in the back where you can put on a solar system and add all those components. So you can really cut down on your power consumption and also kind of breeze right through any power outages without really caring. So that's really the introduction. There's a lot to be done. Like I said, I'm going to be in Nicaragua and Gran Pacifica next week. I'm going to be out at Casita Village and MILA and kind of staking things out a bit. But this isn't going to happen overnight. This we want to plan this out nicely. And to some extent, I guess in some ways you could say we can't win because we either don't say anything until it's 100% planned, or we tell you, everybody as an existing owner up front, what the plan is going to be. So I wanted to, instead of waiting too long, let everybody know that this is coming. We're going to be working on, improving the roads in Casita Village as part of the project as well. I know we should have been doing more of that in the past, and we want to make sure that happens. But I think you'll see as I kind of promised people a couple of years ago as the COO, if we can make some sales on the property, you're going to see improvements. And I think we've been doing that. I mean, you've seen quite a bit of paving happen. There's continual paving going on. I'll be moving from the gate now towards the other direction, back towards Casita Village. We paved past MILA. I'm going to start calling it MILA now. We paved past MILA. A lot of the reason for that, obviously, is the dust control. That should make a big difference in. I guess we're going into the rainy season here as we're recording this, but next season it'll be much easier to live with the dust as we continue to pave down that road. So there's that. We've obviously built in or just about this end of this month, the Momotomo building, which is the Las Perlas condominiums building, is going to be completed and able to be occupied. We're going to be starting on the Messiah building hopefully in the next few months. We've done a lot of things. We're working on completing the sewer system in all Gran Pacifica, which means in underground piping and lift stations and everything, all to our state-of-the-art sewer treatment center, which also makes it it's just all around better. We don't have to run the sewer truck anymore and all those things. So a lot of this is again, same with MILA here in Casita Village. The more we can make sales in this community, the more money we can put back into it. So when this will be somewhat paced by how popular it becomes, but obviously with the more sales, we'll get the palapas and the pools and the gardens and everything going as quickly as we can. But there's no current timeline until we have nailed down all the details, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Sorry, I'm just looking at the questions. Do we have cost estimates for the eco upgrades to the existing units? Don't hold me to this, but I will throw some numbers out. I mean, typically a system for the homes would probably be in, if it's a hybrid, there's a lot of differences here. It's a really tough question to answer. I know solar systems and wind systems and everything very well, but it all depends. How much you're trying to power, whether it's a hybrid system or totally off grid. The Ava homes, for instance, are totally off grid. There's no other backup power. You turn your air conditioner on, it better work because it's all on batteries. And so those systems are pretty, over the top. They're kind of double probably what they need to be, because when you're building these systems, if you're off grid completely, you are building to the peaks, right? You can't have a point where everything shuts down. But when you're doing a hybrid system, it can flip to the grid when the batteries run out of power. And so for MILA, we kind of expect, especially as you get bigger homes, that there'll be hybrid systems. I mean, you're welcome to build a completely, off-grid home as well, but you're probably looking for the solar system and batteries and all that components, somewhere between $10,000–$15,000 would probably be a pretty accurate guess. A little bit more, obviously, if you want to build in the pergola, or to build the pergola, if you want to put on that facade that we showed in the previous slide. And there's a bit of, obviously changes to the home, but they're not massive. We didn't go over the top here. I just, if you like that design. So we'll have more pricing if you're interested. Obviously, people can do this on their own. They don't need to go to Gran Pacifica to do this, but we wanted to make sure that everybody that already owned a home there felt included, and that we'd love to see you kind of make hybrid homes as well. I think it just makes the community better. It's it's less cost for the people, and it's just a good Earth citizen thing to do. So.
Yep, and and you don't have to. I know that Patrick mentioned that, but you don't have to make these upgrades. You don't have to put the solar in. It really is up to you. But we just wanted for you to be aware of what's coming, what your neighborhood is going to look like. I think it's going to be stunning. I think it'll be fairly easy to integrate your homes that are there, and then also welcome the new neighbors that will be coming in and part of the MILA community. I can read the question out here. And Jeff, you're very welcome. It says, we appreciate what this will do for our property value. Yes, you're very welcome there. And then any thoughts on how annual fees will be impacted by these upgrades? Will we go back to any maintenance program?
I can talk in generalities about where we're going with the HOA fees. The newer homes will have a kind of a new program. We don't really want to be in the business of maintaining the homes. We're going to be more like the other communities in Gran Pacifica, where it's a X dollars per square meter, and fits right in with, this is still Casita Village. When I started, Casita Village wasn't part of the Gran Pacifica Master Association. That was a long battle to make sure that everything came together. But you are now part of the Gran Pacifica Master Association, and part of your fees go to the overall security and common areas and all those things that make up the grand kind of master association. And the other part of your fees go to your own local community. So we are reassessing the HOA fees for the new homes that will be purchased. Everyone that already owns a home is grandfathered, and there will be probably future steps towards blending it all together, because we really, at the end of the day, want to have everybody under the same plan. But and to some extent, one of the benefits of buying already or early is you get grandfathered in at the existing rate, but there will be some slight increases over the years. I hope that answers the question. But it also, you get benefit, right? I mean, the cost may go up a little bit, but at the same time, you're going to have a pool in the community. You're going to have the gardens and the orchards and the, kind of another little yoga type of palapa and areas to relax in and all these things. So it's not just like, we're adding some new homes and upping fees.
Right. So. Right. Yeah, that's very true. So it says, please show the garden common area again. Are the gardens in the area in the front or between the homes? Let me go back to the map there, and we will make it easier for everyone to see.
So the central, there's really two main central areas to MILA. that already exist. Those pathways that are in there now are actually the existing pathways. So we didn't have to rip up the existing pathways and redesign them. We designed around them. And we put in some interesting, kind of areas for how the gardens aren't just square plots that, we wanted it to look nice as well. So what
So is
exactly
it
was
in
it?
the front? Says, are the gardens in the area in front or between the homes?
Well, it's really in the center, like a central area. I mean, it's between the homes, but that green space already exists. There's some really beautiful trees in there, and Val reminded me of that earlier and said, we want to keep those trees in, so we're going to make sure we're going to blend them into how the gardens and the orchards work. But realistically, it is the same space in there. It's just, instead of being kind of all grass and kind of barren looking, it's going to have all these features and amenities that allow you to garden and grow fruit and go swimming. So, hope that answers the question.
So we're just saying, yep, people thinking, truly appreciate the advance notice of these changes. Looking forward to getting there full time. Awesome. Well, I know that this was, not, there's a lot of information here, but not a lot of information here as well. But we are going to continue to update you as we finalize everything, but at least wanted to get you updated. In the meantime, there are still, like we said, things that are being worked out, but this is the general concept, the general overview of what the community is going to look like. And in the meantime, we look forward to seeing you at Gran Pacifica.
And we're always open to questions, and I think you have both of our emails, so please feel free to. And if we didn't get to your question, then we're happy to do so.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a really great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. Bye-bye.